Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Spirit of Justice. Previously, plenty of earth-shattering and heartbreaking revelations. Seriously, there was some huge stuff in there that you would think in any other case would be reserved for the huge twist revelations to be uncovered in court, but no, we're still investigating. Probably about to be done investigating, but all the same, man. We learned that Queen Amara is actually alive. That big tomb, the crime scene, just a fabrication to keep the illusion up. She's being held hostage by the Khura'in regime. So, that's not good. And what's worse, Dirk has a fatal illness. It seems he's gonna die real quick, even if we get his name cleared. So, that's really sad. I was actually looking forward to Apollo being able to hang out with him more in the future. Well, there's a lot going on. It seems that people are rising up to revolt. So that's interesting. Before we go talk with Queen Khura'in, however, I think we need to speak with Athena. I didn't know Dirk was sick. What's wrong with him? I mean, he looked fine to me. I really don't know. The Dirk I remember would go out hunting in the middle of winter, while everyone around him was dropping like flies with the flu and whatnot. Come on, everyone, cheer up! The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles, right? Apollo, you don't have to put on a brave face for... No, I'm fine! Besides, Dirk will have his day in court. I won't let this get me down. I'm glad I saw that. So you don't know Queen Amara at all, Apollo? I thought that since you used to live with Dirk, that maybe you had met her. Dirk escaped with Amara 23 or so years ago, so I was still just an infant. Even if I had met her, I wouldn't have remembered it. I guess not. But that means you may have been cared for by a queen. And if you had been, then what? You would have turned out, I don't know, better? Ow! What's that supposed to mean? That was uncalled for! To the audience chamber. Huh? The Royal Guard isn't around. I know who that is. That is utter hooey! You cannot continue to deceive the people like that! Rafa, justice is much more than simply speaking the truth. Is that Princess Rafa and Queen Khura'in over there? You deceived me too, Mother! How can I ever believe a word you say again? You nincompoop! Ah! Your benevolence. I, couldn't help but overhear. Ah! You impudent! Ow! I love that stupid sound effect. Are you okay, Mr. Wright? I can't believe she actually punched you. Yeah, I'm used to it by now. What's the matter with the princess? It sounded like she was arguing with her mother. Maybe it has something to do with this picture. Rafa said she had to ask her mother about some secret or another as soon as she saw it. So then, does that mean that Princess Rafa knows what really happened? That Amara wasn't assassinated and is still very much alive? It would seem so. And she doesn't seem to be taking Khura'in's lies very well. But that's no surprise, considering how much Rafa reveres her mother. That would definitely cause her a great deal of anguish and sadness. Eavesdropping, are we? How very rude. You there. Are you not Dirk's son? Oh, nice to meet you, Your Eminence. We're actually here to speak with you if you could spare a moment. Very well. Anything to see around here? Yes. Apollo, what are you doing? This is the Queen's audience chamber. You can't snoop around in here. Oh, right, sorry. I wonder what it'd be like to sit there with Athena and Mr. Right groveling at my feet. No, stop! Can't let myself think about that sort of thing. Power corrupts, absolutely. Did you know I'm a lawyer? What have we here? It's the attorney's badge used by lawyers like me back home. Well, in this country, lawyers are a loathsome breed. And we would advise you not to needlessly advertise your place among their ranks. For even now, the bad karma Dirk has engendered brings woe to your kind. It is a simple matter of cause and effect. Yeah, an effect you caused by enacting the Defense Culpability Act. Do you know this man? So I was wondering if... We have no intention of bestowing any information upon you or any other lawyer. Guess someone doesn't like to play nice with others. Okay, what if I were to show you this photo? Okay, this is stupid, but... Alright, no. Did you know that Dirk's a lawyer? Fair enough. Let's chat. Your Eminence, Dirk told me about Amara. About how she's still alive, that is. We know not of what you speak. After Dirk learned Amara was still alive, he rescued her, and they ran off together. But she was captured and remains captive in a secret location to this day. As for Nayuta doing your bidding, it's only because Amara's life is in your hands. Oh, what an active imagination you have. Ha 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 ha. A lawyer and a comedian, how droll. Whoa, where'd they come from? Anyway, if she's going to play dumb, I'll just have to jog her memory with some evidence. I guess now's the time. Your Eminence, I ask that you take a look at this photo. Why, that's... It's a photo of Amara, and here you can see a law book bearing the mark of the Defiant Dragons. I believe you know what that means. Very well. Royal Guard, stand down. Yes, Your Eminence. Your wish is our command. It seems there is no need to perpetuate this charade any longer. We shall speak of all we know. Sure. I trust this lady as far as I can throw her. So then, you admit that Amara is still alive? Yes, she is under our protection in a safe location. I think you mean being held prisoner. And where is she being kept? Oh, now why would we tell the son of a traitor that? Guess she has a point there. Now heed our warning, Horned Devil. It would not be wise to inform the people that Amara yet lives. It would only serve to plunge public order into chaos. I have no intention of doing that. Besides, there are real terrorists out there who might try to kill her. Good. Now, there was something we have been meaning to ask you. Do you know what has become of the Founder's Orb? The Founder's orb went missing after Dirk took it into the tomb. As his son, we thought you might know something of its current whereabouts. I knew it. I suppose I should thank you for that free running tour of Khura'in. That was the Royal Guard's own doing. Nice try, lady. But now you're definitely not getting the orb, ever. Why do you want the orb so badly, anyway? Because it would be most dangerous in the wrong hands. It must be recovered. Liar. She wants to power up herself. Is the legend true? Can the orb really impart spiritual power? Are you worried that someone could overthrow you with it? The Holy Mother's power is without equal. Should Her Holiness once again return to our world, she could conceivably bestow great power upon the one who unlocked the orb's secret. I guess it makes sense, considering spirit channeling is a fact of life here. So we ask you, Horned Devil, did you receive the Founder's orb from Dirk? Does it look like I did? So you like to play games, do you? Royal Guard? Yes, Your Eminence. Search this devil and his belongings. What? At once, Your Eminence. Don't move. You're only making this harder on yourself. Yikes. Hey, cut it out. Ah, what the... Apollo, don't strip here! Stop resisting! Just submit to our strip search already! How invasive! No, wait! Hey, cut it out! Ah! Rest in pieces, my poor, tattered dignity. There's no sign of the Founder's orb, Your Eminence. So, you have hidden it somewhere. Heh, no matter. We shall recover it one way or another once you are found guilty of abetting the accused. Dirk was right. She really is bent on getting the orb. Mother! Looks like the princess is back. I took a stroll to try to calm myself, but... I still find this situation unacceptable. The people must be informed about Queen Amara. So she does know about that. Rafa, you do not yet possess a clear grasp of how a government and its people interact. There will always be secrets that must be kept from the ignorant masses. You have little faith in our people, Mother. But it is the royal priestess's duty to always speak the truth. And as such, I cannot remain silent. I will not. Huh. The truth, you say. Your mind has been poisoned by the barbed one. It was an honor and a pleasure, Your Eminence. Wow. Oh, Phoenix, that's good. That's spicy. We must speak with our child. It is a mother's duty to discipline her child, after all. Now, if you would excuse us. Discipline? Coming from her, I don't like the sound of that at all. Well, Apollo, let's head back to the safe house for now. Sure. Just blab about it. Cool. They just left. Are they even out of earshot? That's twice now. Phoenix, keep your trap shut. Good idea. We need to go over what we found and collect our thoughts. Huh. Well, knowing our luck, we're about to be followed, so that's not good. Anything going on at Temple? Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, okay. Ah, you're back. Thank you for holding down the fort, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. Sorry it took so long. Hope you weren't too bored. I watched the plumed Punisher, warrior of Neo-Twilight Realm, while you were gone. I can't believe I never thought of this. Of course he'd be a fan. And my verdict is, it's an outrage, especially its theme song. Even worse, the people here believe it's an original Khura'in show. Can you believe it? I've already spoken about it at length with Mr. Arable. I'm not sure what he's babbling about, but at least it seems he wasn't bored. Moving along to things that actually matter. Wow! Zing Master Phoenix. We've gathered about all the information and evidence we can concerning this case. I think it's time we go over everything we've learned so far. Sounds good. But did you know I'm a lawyer? You flashed that badge like a pro now. And with such confidence, too, I can really feel it. Really? Sure. Take Trucy's case or that civil trial yesterday. You really came into your own during both of them. I can feel my cheeks betraying me. You better not be thinking of starting your own firm, Apollo. What? No, of course not. Probably not ready for that anyway. Ah, come on. You need to reboot the Sadmati law offices. What would you do if the Defense Culpability Act was established back home? What would I do? That's a good question. What are you worried about, Apollo? You'd always have a job as Trucy's assistant. Uh-huh. And what about you, Athena? Couldn't you become a therapist? Huh. I don't know if I could do it for a living. I'd probably go back to playing piano. Hey, what are those looks for? They don't believe him. Amara, she's still alive. But she's basically being held prisoner somewhere. This puts Dirk at a distinct disadvantage. Not to mention us, too. And Nayuta is under Garan's thumb because of all this as well. Yep, it's a problem alright, and it's not like we can just go and rescue Amara. There must be something we can do. We'll just have to pin our hopes on Dirk's revolution. So basically the fates of Amara and Nayuta depend entirely on our ability to beat the charges against Dirk tomorrow. Just because you don't know something doesn't mean that I do, Apollo. That's an important lesson for you to learn. In other words, that this didn't ring any bells. Yeah, it's worth showing stuff to Phoenix, I think. Amara, she's still alive. But she's basically being held prisoner somewhere. Oh. Different icons, same dialogue. Fair enough. Alright, I think that's everything. Anything to look at? I'm gonna hazard a guess and say no. Nope. Okay. The Orb trial, Maya's abduction, and the murder of the mastermind behind it all, Justice Minister Inga. It's a lot to consider. Think you have all the facts straight in your head? Yep, I've got it covered, Mr. Wright. It's the truth about what really went down that's going to be the problem. Yeah, it's like the more we learn about this case, the less we understand. I agree. There's a deep darkness enveloping this case. I'm almost afraid of what we will find once we lift that black veil. Suffice to say, the real killer is certainly waiting underneath. The real killer, huh? Now that's the million-dollar question. Who killed Inga and why? Think, Apollo. Who would you say had a motive to commit this crime? I, for one, am drawing a complete blank. I want to know how the killer slipped into the tomb, killed Inga, and slipped back out. Yeah, that's a worthy question, but unfortunately, Khura'in was standing directly next to us the entire time. Without ever being seen. That's a bona fide locked room mystery right there. Well, we've collected plenty of evidence and statements. I just hope the rest comes out in court. It'll be a thinner tightrope than usual, that's for sure. This case has one big fly in the ointment. In order to prove Dirk completely innocent, we'll also have to exonerate him of the crime committed 23 years ago. Amara's supposed assassination. Right, we know Amara is still alive. But Dirk could still be charged with plotting to kill her. He couldn't discover the truth, even after over 2 decades of investigating. So our biggest hurdle is going to be the complete lack of evidence. The fire made sure of that. Mr. Wright, have you ever won a case without any evidence? No, that's one thing I've never done before. A trial unprecedented even in the decorated annals of the Wright Anything Agency. Still, I can't help but wonder, was there really no evidence left behind? Oh, and we can't forget about the Defense Culpability Act. Those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty. In short, if Dirk is found guilty and is sentenced to death, we'll likely join him in a very public execution. Yeah. Beat the charges or die? What kind of crazy upside-down legal system is this anyway? Don't worry, I can't ask someone as young as you to risk your life, Athena. So tomorrow, it'll just be me and Apollo on the courtroom floor. Cool! Oh, wait! Oh! It's come full circle. Phoenix Wright is our weird little girl now. Yo! But you can support us by watching from the gallery. What? No. I want to help. I'm part of the agency too, after all. Sorry, but this is a direct order from your boss. Plus, there's Prosecutor Blackquill to think of. He said he'd use me for sword practice if I put you in harm's way. Oh, Simon. Well, at least promise me this, you two. Promise me you'll make it back alive. Make it back alive, huh? What's with that face, Apollo? You'll never inspire confidence in your client like that. And it'll play right into the prosecution's hands. Remember, the worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. You're right. Even when it seems hopeless or when there's not a shred of evidence to be found, we can never let it show on our faces, right? But will I actually be able to do that tomorrow? When push comes to shove, will I be able to force my biggest smile? To be continued. Right frickin' now! Oh, let's go. The High Court of Khura'in. anime. I remember seeing that at the very start of the game. Here we are at last. It's complete chaos outside. Let's just say the Defiant Dragon supporters demonstrating for Dirk's freedom have taken a very special interest in the outcome of today's trial. They look about ready to string us up if we lose. Trials here are pretty much like the ones back home, but with one major difference. The divination seance. The victim's final memories will become a matter for deliberation. I've heard about that, but they haven't stopped you from winning your cases here in Khura'in. True, but it wasn't easy. Still, the memories of the dead are simply another piece of evidence. There's always a way to deal with them if your client is truly innocent. Well, I know Dirk is innocent, but... I have one more big secret. Apollo, in court tomorrow, you may find yourself faced with a truth that is difficult to accept. But I know you, and I know you can handle the truth no matter what it turns out to be. I know that because I believe in you. You're my son, after all. Dirk, what is that secret you're keeping? Hey, AJ! What are you doing here? Here you go, just like I promised. Thanks, Dats. Wait, weren't you arrested by the police yesterday? Yep, and I spent the night in the slammer. Had a fine meal, a shower, even a bed. What more could I ask for? That actually sounds way better than where we're staying. Just remember, AJ, if Dirk's found guilty today, we'll all probably be found guilty under the Defense Culpability Act too. Yeah, the Yuta said something to that effect. That witch Khura'in wants to take advantage of today to crush our revolution once and for all. The fate of the revolution and every Khura'inese person rests on this trial. We're counting on you, AJ. We'll be fine. I'm going to win this one, you'll see. The trial will begin shortly, Apollo. Let's make our way into the courtroom. Right. No pressure. No pressure. No pressure. Let the trial of Dirk Sadmati begin. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Majesty. So it's really come down to this. Well, don't expect me to hold anything back, Nayuta. This trial will examine both the murder of Justice Minister Inga Karkul Khura'in and the assassination of the former queen, Amara Sigatar Khura'in. First, I believe we should address the murder of Minister Inga. Would that be acceptable, Prosecutor Sadmati? Prosecutor Sadmati? Yes, of course. Please proceed. What's with him? How very unlike you, Prosecutor. Is your mind elsewhere this day? Not at all, Your Majesty. Are you really going to be able to go through with this, Nayuta? Well, Prosecutor Sadmati, I would be remiss if I failed to voice a concern of mine. I have heard mentioned that you are the son of the accused, Dirk Sadmati. You have heard true. Does that fact pose some sort of a problem, Your Majesty? A father being prosecuted by his own son. Could one possibly deliberate such a case without having a personal feelings intervene? Yes, without question. Can he really handle this? Even if it is Prosecutor Sadmati going against his own father is just... How can the son of a criminal even be a prosecutor? Oh. Dirk? Fellow citizens, you would do well not to underestimate my son. He's not one to allow personal feelings to interfere with the execution of his duty. Isn't that right, Nuyuta? I will not stop until my work here is done. See? So all you doubters just sit back down before you trip over your own stupidity. The accused will not take the stand without first being summoned. In any case, if Prosecutor Sadmati has no issue with this arrangement, then let us commence the deliberations.
Objection!
Who was that? One moment, if you would. Your Eminence! Your Eminence, what brings you here? Oh. Oh. Oh, shit! There's only one reason why she could possibly stand there! Oh, shit! This is a 2v2. The prosecution has a weird little girl. Harness the powers that be. Oh god, oh jeez, oh man. Oh wow. Yeah, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I think I need a moment to maybe grab some water. Alright. Okay. Oh man. This is incredible. Your Majesty, it would appear that Prosecutor Sadmati does indeed have some reservations. No, that's not true. Did you truly believe you could deceive me, Nayuta Sadmati? One should hold no reservations if one is to stand on these hallowed funerary grounds. I have none, Your... No, it is clear we cannot leave this matter to you. We shall handle the prosecution of enemy of the crown, Dirk Sadmati, personally. But remain by our side and bear witness to how a true prosecutor enforces the law. Okay, so Nayuta's the weird little girl. That makes more sense. Excuse me, but is the Queen going to prosecute the case? Is that, kosher? There is no need for concern. Before we were crowned Queen, we served as a prosecutor. Really? As a foreigner, your ignorance can be excused, but know this. The prosecutor in charge of the Queen Amara assassination case 23 years ago was none other than Her Eminence, Queen Khura'in Sigatar Khura'in. So she went up against Dirk, huh? First, Your Majesty, and now this. Why doesn't anyone ever tell me these things? I've heard she's served as the Minister of Justice, but she was also a prosecutor. I'm guessing she probably moved up the ladder from prosecutor to Justice Minister. No, Apollo, she moved up the step ladder. We prosecuted that case 23 years ago, but no verdict was ever rendered. We had one guilty verdict in every case until then, for no lawyer could stand up to us. I am at a loss for words. To think I would once more bear witness to Her Eminence at work in the Hall of Justice. Our first trial in 23 years. No quarter shall be given to criminals. We shall prosecute them with all our might. What? Why'd she turn into a Yu-Gi-Oh card? What the hell? Oh, jeez. You know what? Okay. While I do really enjoy this recent Ace Attorney trend of having antagonists do big transformations, this one is way too anime. Like, way too anime. I'm not sure I like this design. What? Oh, man. What the... That's Queen Khura'in? Talk about an extreme makeover. It's all coming back now, the feel of my blood pumping through my veins. Woe to you, O enemies of Khura'in, for I shall personally slice, dice, and grind you up into hog feed. I don't suppose I can ask her to roll back to her polite pre-makeover personality. Know this, lawyer. Yes? Now that I stand as prosecutor, consider your defense's bench a headsman's scaffold. If you wish to leave any last words, I advise you to start thinking of them now. While you still have a head with which to think, that is. Me? She's dead serious. Now it is time for the divination seance. Rafa, come forth.
Your benevolence, thank you for gracing us with your presence. Your benevolence, I understand it may be difficult for you, but may we proceed with the divination seance?
Yes, let us proceed.
Forgive me for asking, but are you feeling physically unwell? If so, I would advise you to avoid any undue exertion.
Uh-huh.
Your benevolence?
What's wrong? It's like her mind's anywhere but here. A lot's happened since yesterday. On top of the murder of her beloved father, she found out that he'd been planning a coup. And today she'll have to experience his death through his own eyes. Yeah, that would be enough to shake anyone up. Still, it seems like she's worse off today than she was yesterday. Yeah, I don't remember her being this depressed. Could it be that punishment? We must speak with our child. It is a mother's duty to discipline her child, after all. Now, if you would excuse us. Discipline? Coming from her, I don't like the sound of that at all. Wait. Khura'in didn't do something to her, did she?
Your Eminence, about today's divination seance. As I understand it, the prosecution has yet to review its content. Is this deviation from protocol a part of your plan?
Oh. Oh man, okay, for some reason, doing the judge's voice today is hurting my throat. That's like never happened. Weird, but okay. Prosecutor Sadmadi, would you care to explain your actions? Your Eminence, the accused was caught at the scene of the crime. Therefore, I deemed no seance would be necessary for such a clear-cut case. You and your bleeding heart. You seek to spare Rafa the trauma of witnessing her father's death. Is that why you have done this? Not at all. You were concerned for me, Prosecutor Sadmadi. That's oddly compassionate of him, all things considered. Your Eminence, your Majesty, regardless of what is best for her benevolence, this case is blessed with a bounty of incontrovertible evidence. So I believed we could reach a swift verdict without devoting precious time to a seance.
You have a point. Personally, I would like to spare her benevolence any undue misery.
Okay, maybe just for the rest of the video I shouldn't do the judge voice. It's actually really hurting. It's hard to explain how, but it just is.
Experiencing the murder of a loved one is a burden no one should have to bear.
Prosecutor Sadmati, your majesty, can this trial truly proceed without a divination seance? I can't blame her for not wanting to experience her father's murder firsthand.
Your Eminence, what are your feelings on the matter? Shall we have her benevolence return home for some much-needed rest?
Okay, something is really weird with my throat. Okay, maybe I should have some more water. Maybe that'll solve it. Yeah, I don't know. This is like the first time in months, if not years, that my throat started hurting so much I had to step away while recording. Hopefully this is not the start of a new trend. Hopefully. We shall not. What did she say that to? Hold on. You fools spoil her with your feckless words of compassion. Listen well, Rafa. You have spoken time and time again about how grown up you are now. Yes, but... So let us see if the royal priestess has truly come into her own. Are you prepared to fulfill your duty and perform the divination seance as you should? Yes. That's better. See? Problem solved. Poor Rafa. Is this really a good idea? I guess we'll see. Very well. Let us begin the divination seance. Naina, my robe. Oh! Looks like Naina's still missing. It's been a whole day already. Why do I think Naina is dead? Barbed head. Yes? You remove my robe. What? Why me?
Don't keep her benevolence waiting now, Mr. Wright. Can't you see she's ready to begin?
Great. I've been reduced to royal robe remover. It's like she's grooming Mr. Wright to be Naina's replacement.
Very well, your benevolence. Please start when you are ready.
Come, Rafa, you know what must be done. There is no turning back now. I know. The final memories of the deceased. This should be interesting.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Now, if there was ever a time for a unique version of this cutscene, it would be now. I don't know. Nope, nothing different. Nothing whatsoever. Wait, what? Oh. Huff, huff, puff. Gasp.
Your benevolence! What's wrong?
This is unacceptable.
Bailiff, take her benevolence to the first aid station at once.
This is not good.
Your Eminence, do you have any idea why her benevolence collapsed so suddenly?
It seems she was not ready for what the deceased was to reveal. It overwhelmed her. Her inexperience and immaturity left her ill-prepared to face her father's death. And she said she could go through with it. How very disappointing.
You are such a fuck.
I know someone who's not winning Mother of the Year ever. I mean, of course Rafa's going to be overwhelmed. She's still just a child. It seems we have no choice but to move on to witness testimony. Your Majesty.
Oh, yes, let us proceed. Bailiff, summon the first witness if you would. Is this not the accused?
It is indeed. I thought I would give him the opportunity to plead his case.
Oh, someone's confident.
For true justice is more than a unilateral presentation to the facts by the prosecution. That seems uncharacteristically fair of her. However, should the accused fail to produce convincing testimony, he, along with his cabal of traitorous lawyers, shall immediately be found guilty, and their heads will roll from their shoulders.
What?
I should have known there was a catch.
Your court, your rules, same as it always was, I see, Khura'in. Now then, Mr. Dirk Sadmati, if you could enlighten us as to what happened.
Well, I would, if I could.
Witness testimony.
Dirk explains himself.
I was struck by a sudden dizziness the moment I entered the tomb. The next thing I knew, I was standing there with a bloody knife in my hand. And lying right in front of me was Inga, dead as a doornail. I have no recollection of what happened in the interim. But I didn't kill him. At least I don't think I did. It'd go against everything I believe in.
That didn't explain squat. For the record, let it be known that the accused's fingerprints were all over the murder weapon. And since he was caught in the act, there was no chance for a third party to tamper with it.
Well, that certainly seems to point the finger at you, Mr. Sadmati. Even as a lawyer, I have to agree with you there, Your Majesty.
Seriously, Dirk? This is no laughing matter. This is exactly what Khura'in wanted. To have Dirk try to plead his case only to fail miserably. How low can she go? Prosecutor, behold this most unpleasant of spectacles and let it be etched into your soul. See how instead of accepting the inevitable, those fish-brained lawyers flounder and flop themselves straight into the abyss of despair. Yes, Your Eminence. Show me the way.
Now then, would the defense please begin their cross-examination?
I will. Next time. Whew. Yeah, hopefully my voice, my throat will be feeling a lot better tomorrow. In the meantime, wow. Yeah, it's... a part of me is a little bit disappointed that it's not immediate square off between Apollo and Nayuta. You know, brother against brother, fighting over the soul of their father. That's poetry. But it seems, we all knew Queen Khura'in was the evil baddie, but this feels so soon. Like, wouldn't it have been a bit better if Nayuta started out and there was back and forth, and then when it became evidence that things were going towards the defense's side, Khura'in would take the bench of the prosecution and take the show and try and steer it back on course for her? I don't know. Look, I trust Ace Attorney. They're clearly going somewhere really cool with this. And in fact, this kind of needed to happen in order for Rafa to have her episode and skip out on the seance. We'll probably get to it eventually, but you know, I still theorize that we would see the seance for Jove Justice. I know that's unlikely because Jove Justice is seemingly his stage name and not his real name. But you know, there is a possibility we could go this entire case without seeing the seance for Inga. Just skip over it entirely. And if that happens, yeah, I could see the seance happening for Jove. He died that night in the fire. He would surely have... His last senses would surely indicate something about the truth of that night. Well, speaking of my theories, so we know that Khura'in last night used the channeling rite. She took on another form. And in that state, she could have been disguised as pretty much anyone who's dead. Look, this is dark, but Naina has been missing for a whole day. What if Khura'in had it so that Naina was killed off? Then she channeled Naina, and as that sort of disguise, did something? I don't know. Well, that's not even how the channelings work. If Naina was dead, it would be Naina. It's not like you could control the person unless Queen Khura'in's version of spirit channeling is that absolute and powerful, more powerful than Maya's. But that would break the rules of what we know. So you know what, maybe not. And besides, didn't Albie say something about how Khura'in was asked to channel the spirit of some king of a foreign country? It was like that mural in the fake tomb. Look, there are like 10,000 trillion moving pieces here. It's a lot to grapple with, man. It is a lot to grapple with. Oh. Also, I'm hoping that Khura'in's new design will grow on me. She looks like Rita Repulsa and the Dark Magician from Yu-Gi-Oh! had a baby. That's what she looks like. Well, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Spirit of Justice. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.